Yo, what up, Night Nation? Wanted to address the loss last night. That was probably the worst loss I've seen from UCF football since the winless 2015 season. And I don't mean that as a hyperbole at all. Just the way that we couldn't move the ball, the fact that ECU only had to punt one time and it was late in the fourth quarter, how ECU kind of just methodically ripped us apart, held the ball away from us strategically. We only scored one offensive touchdown. Obviously had four turnovers, didn't force a single turnover. The defense, the DBs all got kind of just ripped apart, if I'm being honest. It was definitely the kind of worst loss, in my opinion, since 2015. We looked nowhere near the team of the last 2 weeks. ECU is obviously a step up in competition from SMU and Temple. And what happened was we got dismantled, showed road struggles once again. We know, last year, Gus's first year, we won every single game at home. All of our losses were on the road. This year, our only two road games so far, we've had a very home-heavy schedule, have been FAU and ECU, only game out of the state of Florida. ECU, what happens, we go there, we get blown out. I haven't seen us get blown out, by a conference opponent like that, where in my mind, the talent was at least equal or ours better since 2015. Did we get blown out by SMU and Cincy last year? Yes, but that wasn't equal talent. Cincinnati was the number 4 team in the country, right? SMU was just flat out better than us last year. To me, I look at the two teams on paper, ECU and UCF. I'm not like, oh, ECU is just dramatically better than us. I can accept it. If you go and play a team and they're just a lot better than you, like Cincinnati last year or the year prior, sure, if you get blown out, it is what it is. But to get blown out by ECU, no disrespect to them, they are a good team, but we shouldn't have lost by that much. It should have been, look, the spread was UCF -5. We lost by 3 possessions or more, okay? So, I'm pretty upset still. Obviously I take 24 hours to think about things. Here's the biggest thing to me is UCF is having struggles over the past, since I'm wearing this hat. This is the last time we've won a conference championship, 2018. Since that season, so 2019, 2020, 2021, and now 2022, we have not beaten a quality opponent. Our best wins in that time span are an 11-win FAU squad in the beginning of 2019, and then an 8-win Temple squad towards the end of 2019. Since then, we haven't beaten a team that's finished more than 3 games over 500. I put that out on Twitter. Someone said I was like cherry picking stats or whatever. I don't know what that means. I don't know how I'm cherry picking, but whatever. My point is, if you truly look at UCF football over the past 3+ years, who have we beaten that's a very quality opponent that's finished the season with a lot of wins? UF, after we beat them, they were 6-7, okay? If you want to count Marshall, they had 8 wins that year. You know what I mean? Like, we have not beaten a team that's finished with double-digit wins since FAU in 2019. We haven't beaten a conference opponent that's finished with double-digit wins since 2018 when we were undefeated in the regular season. And it's not just about 10 wins. We haven't even beaten a team. We've beaten like 3 or 4 teams with just 8 wins to finish the season. I know you can't do that every season. I know that you aren't going to go undefeated every season. I know that you're not going to conference championship every season. But we're going on a full cycle here, 4 years, where we have not beaten a truly quality in-conference opponent. I mean, think about it. The 9 wins we had last year, even the 10 wins in 2019, they're feasting on middle tier and lower tier opponents. Look at the record of every school that we've beaten this year. FAU, Georgia Tech, Temple, SMU, and I'm not going to count the FCS opponents. So those 4 FBS opponents, the most wins is 3. None of those 4 teams out of the 5 that we've beaten, the 4 FBS opponents, none of them have more than 3 wins this year. So they're either 3-4, 3-3, 2-4, so we haven't really beaten a quality opponent. We go face ECU, our first quality opponent on the road, we get dismantled. It's just very concerning. And the thing is confusing to me, like I said this earlier in my stories, I'm not an X and O's guy. I don't know like everything about schemes and all that, but I just cannot figure out what it is. 2 coaching staffs now, obviously and it's the same issues. Obviously with Heupel, we're a great offensive team. Under Gus, we've been better defensively. Same results, though. We're not beating quality opponents. We are not beating the upper echelon of our conference. We're not really sniffing AAC titles at all in the last 3+ years, and that's really concerning to me. We've never had that much trouble over a 4-year span where we can't get close to a conference championship. Yes, I know we could still beat Cincy and Tulane, and this video would all be moot. But as of now, it's very hard for me to think we can go on the road and beat Tulane or even beat Cincy at home next week. So I look at a few different things. Is it talent? It doesn't feel that it's talent. I mean, you talk about transfers that have come over from SEC schools that were scoring touchdowns, doing very good over there. To me, it feels like we have the talent to match up with anyone on anyone else's roster. On any of our opponents. Is it coaching? Is Gus making bad in-game decisions? Is Travis Williams making bad in-game decisions? Is it preparation? Are we not getting prepared for these opponents? Are we not watching, the tape? Are we not doing the right schemes to play against these opponents? Are we not prepared? Are they more prepared than we are, and that's why they're beating us? Is it a matter of fit? Even though we have all this collection talent individually, are they not fitting as a team? Are they not gelling? Is the chemistry just not there? I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of all those things, or it's just one of those things. Then, I look at all those things and I think, it could be some of those things. I don't think it's talent. I will say that, but maybe fit, chemistry, maybe coaching preparation, maybe. I don't know for sure. I can't definitively say that. But the one thing I know that we talked about over and over again prior to the season was the number one fear we had, at least offensively, was quarterback. We said we felt like we had the receivers, we had the running backs. Defensively, we felt really good, maybe besides linebacker. We were worried about quarterback. And quarterback, as we know, is the most important position in football. It's the most important position in sports. JRP, as dynamic as he's been in certain games and as athletic as he's been, he's really only done that against the weaker defenses. Let's be honest. He did it against a very bad Temple team. He did it apparently against a very bad SMU defense. So to me, that is where you see the difference. And that's something I can tangibly see. Like I said, I don't know X's and O's. I don't know about coaching preparation, all that. But I can tell you something. He had 3 turnovers in the first half. He had 4 turnovers in the game. When you see that deflates the momentum in the game. It deflates the team. He did not play well. Was there some drop passes? Absolutely. But JRP did not lead that offense, did not get them to score, did not really bring them to the point where we could be competitive with ECU's offense. We had to punt on multiple occasions. To me, that's the quarterback. Obviously, yes, the offensive line didn't do great. Obviously, there was that horrible drop pass on like the first or second possession of the game that really killed the momentum. But to me, when you talk about the 2 losses that we've had so far against Louisville and now against ECU, the thing that really sticks out is the quarterback not playing up to par. If he were to have 400 yards, all these touchdowns, and the defense gave up 50, 60 points, that's one thing. Or whatever, the running backs, the wide receivers were fumbling like crazy, and he was just pinpoint accuracy and all this. No, I mean you saw JRP did not play well in this game. To me, that sticks out as the biggest issue. You look at a guy like Holton Ahlers, ECU's quarterback, a 5th-year senior. He's not a mistake-free quarterback, but he was poised. He kept the offense going. He kind of game managed. He did what he needed to do to win the game. And JRP did not do that, hasn't really done that. So that to me sticks out as one of the biggest issues. But I know that there was other things in that game. The O-line did not play good at all in the first half. Couldn't really get the running game going. Obviously, I believe it was Jalen Griffin that had that horrible drop pass that would have been a surefire touchdown to make UCF go up 7-0. I know JRP hasn't always gotten the help when he's needed it. But these issues keep reoccurring. The drop passes, the O-line play, JRP playing inconsistently, and overall it's just leading to UCF being a very inconsistent team. We've won games while playing bad, but then we lose. We've lost 2 games now, and a lot of that inconsistent play. And I don't know, I don't feel it's an issue of talent. It just feels like it's the quarterback play not being above average in most games. And it's, some O-line play. It's probably a little bit coaching and preparation. It's a mixture of all these things, but it's a shame because we have the talent to put it all together. We have enough playmakers where we should be beating ECU. Like, I understand if you're talking about a top 25 team, with all these issues that I just mentioned, you can't beat them, a top 25 team. ECU's not a top 25 team. They're a good team, but we should be beating them. Come on, we should be getting past this. It's been 4 years of not being able to beat schools that are in the top 4 of the conference. Look at the last couple years. We lost to Cincy 3 years in a row. We lost to SMU 2 of the last 3 years. We've lost to Navy. We've lost to Tulsa. Now we've lost to ECU. We've lost to Memphis 1 of the last 2 years. We are not, and not all those were upper echelon conference teams, but most of them were. We're not beating these top 4, top 5 conference opponents. And it's just getting to the point where we have not had a quality win, like I said in the beginning of the video. And without that, you're not going to get into the top 25. You're not going to get to the conference championship. And it's just concerning because next year the level of competition dramatically spikes. ECU would be someone we'd be begging to play next year. You know what I mean? If we needed an easy win. So, it's just frustrating. I still have hope, but they got to turn this around fast. They got to look at the mistakes of this past game and see how they can turn that around and make some decisions on offense. And, hopefully we go beat Cincinnati. We're still in the mix if we do that. But if not, it's going to be another, 8, maybe 9 win year with a bowl game, but with no conference championship. Come on. We all want to get back to a conference championship. It's been too long. So that's my piece. Go Knights.